Hi everyone, welcome to the Stack Ahead podcast. I'm your host Shubhangi, and today we have Emiliano with us. A little introduction about him. Emiliano is a software developer, Microsoft MVP in developer technologies. He's a very passionate community advocate based in Canary Islands. With a career spanning several years, he thrives on solving complex technical challenges and has cultivated deep expertise in architecting scalable cloud solution using Microsoft technologies. He currently is a team lead for the cloud solutions at Intellicua Technologies. He's a leader in hands on innovation, guiding his team in designing and delivering robust cloud applications.
Mhm.
Also, a very dedicated sharer of knowledge. He has spoken at multiple international conferences, writes technical blogs, translating everyday problem solving with actionable insights. I mean, overall, there's a lot to say. And this is also his way of giving back to the ecosystem through, growth and mentoring the young
Yeah.
talent. In the way the generosity that he has received. So welcome Emiliano to the show. Is there anything do you want to add to this?
First of all, thanks for having me here. It's an amazing opportunity to be here. And yeah, I couldn't introduce myself better than you did. You did, but yeah, I mean, basically that. The only thing that I want to say is that I always want to give back to the community again because I learned so much stuff from people around the world and going to conferences and for example, I got my first job because I want to see someone. And then I told them I want to work with you one day. And then a few years later, I ended up working with them.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think everything gets back to the community at some point, and I think going back to that and always going. Also, it's another way to learn. So for me,
yeah,
it's a pleasure always to be there, to be here, and to go to conferences and to write blog posts. And so yeah.
yeah. That's very well said. So I think we'll start the segment of questions. So the
Mhm.
first segment is going to be about your career and background. Um, I think the first question I want to ask is what instances drew you to your career in technology? Like, what was the first thing that you thought, oh, I want to build a career in this area and not go for any other career choices in my life?
It goes back to when I was a kid. The thing is, my family, we were tangled with cables because my dad itself, he's a like electronic company, and then my brother, he was always with servers and programming, and I was like, what should I do? And I ended up always using computers because my family always has computers, so I ended up playing all day computer games and everything. And at some point, I was like, it's either computers or nothing.
Yeah,
So in the end, at some point, I was really bad at studying. If you can find someone it's bad student, it's me.
yeah,
I mean, I suck at studying. I mean, I'm the worst student ever because in the end, I didn't like going to high school or anything. So I kind of dropped out, and then one day I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I started studying not programming, but there was like servers and stuff, like that other stuff, like not programming, but more like infrastructure. And then I went to work, and then the people told me, actually, we don't have any work for you, but if
yeah,
you want to program, you can do this.
yeah,
So I had to learn programming, and then from there I studied for four. I mean, I studied for 4 years, and then but in the meantime I was like creating everything. Now everyone creates stuff, so I was like creating small Kanban apps and note-taking apps, and then I keep learning, and that's how I ended up being a programmer.
yeah,
Because I like to spend 15 hours finding an issue or 15 hours fixing a problem. I mean, you have to like that, otherwise
yeah.
it doesn't work.
Yeah, 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 definitely. I think somebody also said previously on one of the recordings that you have to like what you do also. It's not possible otherwise to like,
Yeah,
sustain a
yeah, yeah.
career.
Indeed, whenever I get someone to, because they tell me, I want to be a programmer, or I want to be, I want to do web apps or whatever, anything
Yeah,
you want to do. I mean, outside of programming, but inside of programming, especially, you have to be ready to be 20 hours with the same issue. And I think people are not ready for that. Like sometimes, why are not fixing this? Well, maybe because you need to see it 200 times. I mean, I've been with the same bag for like 1 week,
yeah,
and you have to wake up, and then you go to sleep thinking on the bag, and then you wake up, you open the shower thinking, how am I going to fix this? I mean, and production is going slow. Why is it going slow?
yeah,
And then you have to spend 2 3 weeks with the same issue. And I sometimes say to people, if you're not ready to be 15 hours sit down in the same chair, just
Yeah.
drinking water and seeing the screen, the same issues, same piece of code, it's not for you. I mean, now it's kind of easier because of pipe coding and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Now it's different. The world is
yeah.
different now.
It's changing everything now.
Yeah, definitely. I think the second question I want to ask is,
Hmm.
who were your biggest influence or mentors in tech, and how did they shape your career?
Um, I can't go like international because first time I ever saw someone do live programming and where
Yep.
I wrote is actually my CTO. So my CTO is he's the regional director of Microsoft in Spain.
Yep.
He's based here on the Canary Islands, so I was lucky. And so I remember just like about 8 years ago or 9 years ago, I was studying and they told us, there's this meetup that they're going to do. They're going to go to pizzas and everything after the session. I was like, oh, let's go to see that. And I saw him,
Yep.
and the passion at that time, Azure was kind of new. Not kind of new, but it wasn't what it is today. 10 years ago, it was good and everyone was
Yep.
using it, but not the best. But the passion I saw in him and how he wanted to share to everyone.
Yep.
Look at this. This is amazing. This is the next big thing. This is you have to go to cloud and you have to do
Yeah.
this on cloud. And I remember him. His name is David Rodriguez, and he's I, aside of that, he's an incredible person. I can consider him as a friend of mine. Um, the passion, and I always tell everyone, I'm working with these people because of these people. I mean, for this guy and for a lot more people on my company, because they are what you can call mentors. Like one thing
Yeah.
that I like to say about people is that if you like to teach and you don't mind explaining it 20 times,
Hmm.
that's the definition of you.
Yeah.
It reminds me because I've seen him he's like 30 years older than me. I always call him dad, and it's like my dad because if I say I don't understand this, he tells me like it's fine. I can tell you again. I mean another way or another way or another way.
Yeah.
And I think that if I want to name a person, it's him. Like I've learned everything from him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's David.
Okay. Yeah, I think I understand. That's a great answer. The next question is more about about the stuff like the technology that you work with. So how did you get started with .NET and then eventually Blazor?
Um, I mean, how did I start with .NET? I think I was always a Windows guy. I mean, I was never a Mac user, not a Linux user.
Yeah.
I was always a Windows guy. So I
Yeah.
was like always using Windows. And when I had the chance to start working on programming, like they told me, you have to do this because we don't have work for you, so you have to learn programming.
Yeah.
I remember I was on Poland. I was doing an exchange there for 2 months, and then they were creating an airlines website, so they needed to test on all the browsers, and they told me, get your laptop because you have
Yeah.
Windows and test the website. So they were using. I remember at that time we were using the newest Edge. Now it's pretty nice, but back then it wasn't that good.
Oh, yeah.
so I had to do some stuff there, and then they told me, test everything up for Windows, and then is where I started using .NET. And also my brother, he has his own companies, the programming company. He was always using .NET, ASP.NET, web forms and everything,
Yeah.
so Razor pages and everything. And so I was like learning from him, and I always used .NET, and in the end, I realized, okay, .NET is, I mean, from my point of view, I don't want to belittle any other language, but from my point of
Yeah.
view, the stack itself, it's pretty amazing. It's continually growing. I think that it provides you with so many tools that
Hmm.
sometimes, as a .NET developer, we don't realize how good we have. I mean, how good of an environment we have.
Yeah.
So and then I started working on the company with David. We
Yeah.
focus only on .NET. So I keep learning and keep learning and keep learning, and I've never changed. I mean, I've never done anything on another language. And right now, I mean, before maybe I could have changed to someone
Yeah.
newer, but for example, when TypeScript came out. But now, I mean, you can do anything with the C sharp now, like anything you want. So
Yeah.
always C sharp, always C sharp, always Microsoft. I'm a fanboy. so
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So I think on that line, the next question is, which I think will make sense, is like, what was the point you felt AI is something you like everybody has to look into, and then like that point arrived that you actually started incorporating that in like all the things that you are doing. For example, all things tech, like because
Um,
ChatGPT came back in like November 2022, and
yeah,
then obviously it is moving. All the things are moving at a rapid, fast rate, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what
Um,
what do you think?
with the new stuff, I think it's incredible and scary at the same time.
Yeah,
Because I can consider myself. You most likely to. You can consider yourself like a these old people. They tell, oh, these old people, they knew how to do stuff.
yeah,
And we are now. I consider myself old. Well, I'm 30 now, so I'm definitely old. But I consider myself like an old style programmer now. So we kind of the new people are going to tell, oh, these people used to like type that much. Now we we don't really type that much, right?
yeah.
So it's incredibly scary because I'm scared that it's too easy, and we're going to start losing. I mean, how can I sound not like that? It's not that bad, but now people are going to maybe use less time thinking and more time asking, and I
Okay,
think
yeah.
it works. So
Hmm.
vibe coding is amazing. I've done stuff on vibe coding, and it's amazing, and it saves my life. But I know exactly what's being written, which is
Yeah,
stuff that doesn't happen. I know new people that they are starting to learn programming, and they are directly using vibe coding, and I was like, it's fine, it
yeah,
makes sense, but if you don't know, I'm not gonna tell you 99% of the code what it does. But if you don't know 70% of the code, I mean, you are the bottleneck at this time. I mean,
yeah,
because the code works, but if it doesn't work, what do? We ask the AI to fix it. And I've been a victim of this because some this is the bad thing. You get used to it, and it's amazing. And once it gets like, add me this button, and now add me the login feature, and now add me a reporting, and I was like, I'm not doing anything, and I feel sad because I mean, it's incredible. Like it's an incredible technology,
yeah,
but it frightens me a lot because it's going too fast. People are skip learning. I mean, they're not going to learn because it does it for me. But I think it's the law of life. In the
yeah.
end,
But
it's
do
the
you
law.
think it will impact like the next generation of, for example, software engineers, programmers? Because like, for example, we are used to finding a piece of bug, and then like several hours were spent just solving those bugs. I think the
Yes,
more we have spent more time like solving the bugs than actually coding. Uh, uh, so
indeed,
like,
indeed, yes. And I think yes, it's going to affect, and I think it's affecting right now. I mean,
yeah,
I remember I saw a graph. I don't know the numbers, but that companies now are hiring less juniors and more seniors with AI background. So because I mean, in the end, and I've told my colleagues about this. Like, if I have to hire a junior now, what can the junior do that I can't do typing on ChatGPT?
yeah,
I mean, so it's going to affect to the new generation,
yeah,
but we don't really know the scope of how it's going to like
yeah,
how much it's going to affect. It's going to affect, but I mean, AI is going to keep improving, but at some point it's going to run out. I mean, from my point of view, is that it's going to run out of stuff that it can do. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, it's not like you can tell, create me the next SaaS that's going to make me a millionaire. It's not
yeah,
going to work. You have to define it. And for example, I can give you an example of this. I'm building a SaaS right now.
yeah,
And I was like, I'm going to start by coding. And you keep adding stuff, and you keep adding stuff. And it's 2 months, and I'm still adding stuff. And you never learn. So it's not like the definitive solution. You still need
yeah,
to do stuff, right? You still need to decide on stuff. So it's going to affect them, but we'll see. I mean, I can tell you it's going to affect the 100%. No one's going to be hired anymore, but it's
yeah,
going to affect because now if you don't know, I will say that if you're a junior that doesn't know how to use AI, you are
yeah,
completely screwed. You have to be like smart enough to say, I'm a junior, but I know how to use GPT perfectly, and I know how to do this faster. You know?
yeah,
So I think that's how it will affect. I mean,
yeah. So basically, it definitely will become a part of the skill set in some
Definitely.
capacity, like in more than less capacity, even if we like think in like any length or breadth, essentially.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I remember like back when I went to MVP Summit a few years ago, and Copilot
Yeah.
was just going away. I like sorry, so it's just getting on. Everyone was talking about Copilot, and I remember seeing a quote which later on get like super famous. That it says, I think it says like AI is not going to replace you, but someone that uses is going to replace you. And if you get out of technology, it's basically what's going on right now. I mean,
Yeah.
my wife, she works on HR department,
Mm.
and she still sees someone that's creating the stuff like manually, and I'm reviewing candidates and everything. And I was like, why are you not using, like, what are your team not using? I'm a copilot, like Office Copilot or whatever, right? And I remember I told her like almost a year ago, just this, and you get back to me at some point. You get back to me, but use this for now, just 1 week. And she
Yeah.
was like, my productivity just skyrocketed. Like she was like multitasking on everything, and I was like, and you can replace. I mean, everyone gets replaced if you don't use it because the speed of AI can be matched. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, I always tell my coworkers, I'm going to become like a team leader slash a team leader slash make sure that I write correct user stories.
Yeah.
Because AI then is going to like create stuff for me. So now I'm focusing on my writing skills because they kind of suck. I know how to write stuff, but not the best one. So now I
Yeah.
have to focus on be super concise on everything. This has to be done like this because then everyone on my team gets ChatGPT on that. And then if I make a mistake on the description, like everyone gets a mistake. So you know,
Yeah.
um, you
Yeah.
get replaced. It's
Yeah. Of
important
course.
to use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So where do you see the biggest opportunities of AI for .NET and Blazor applications?
I think we can split that question in two, if you don't mind. On
Yep.
.NET itself, I think Microsoft did a super nice decision because if you talk about AI, especially like years ago when you're talking about machine learning and whatever, no one was talking about .NET. They were saying like, if you want to use AI and machine learning, you go to Python or to whatever other thing that is not Microsoft, right? So Microsoft actually, the biggest decision they made, let's buy OpenAI, and then let's create tools that we can use. And they decided to create tools for .NET because I was like, when I was hearing about OpenAI and all this ChatGPT, I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, there's nothing for .NET. I can't use this. And they decided to create semantic kernel, and then they decided to create like all these new frameworks, and now you can use that. And that's, I think, where they like break the glass and they will say, actually you can use this on .NET, and now everyone is using it. I mean, my SaaS itself uses this to do stuff, and I can be easier.
Mm.
So I think now on any application you have, because I tell people like it doesn't have to be a web application. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be an API. You can do it in WinForm applications. You can do it on whatever you want in a calculator. It's fine. If you trans.net, you can do it,
Yeah.
and you can use .NET now. And that's something new. That's something that Microsoft gave us. Like, use this on .NET everywhere you want, any platform, anywhere, and you can use AI. And Blazor itself, Blazor, it's another discussion. I love Blazor and I use Blazor whenever I can. And I mean, the Blazor itself is not getting that much love anymore. I mean, the
Yeah.
thing is that it's already production safe. You can build stuff in production for production.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes I think we fall into thinking why there's no features for Blazor. I
Yeah.
mean, what else do you want? I mean, you can do stuff only with C Sharp and .NET. Runs JavaScript if you want. It works. It's fast. I mean, there's no like new features. What are you expecting to have? So for
Yeah.
AI, they kind of created these smart components, which I think it's hype stuff. Like if you copy, for example, and paste, it uses AI to paste that stuff on forms. Not that much, so kind of irrelevant, I'd say. But Blazor itself, pretty solid. I've been using Blazor since Netcore 3.1. So when
Okay.
it sucked a lot, I started using it, and I that's when I became an MVP, because I was like non-stop showing Blazor to everyone. I was like, "This is the future. This is the future." It's not the
Yeah.
future,
Yeah.
you know. They told me like, "Why is Microsoft not using this on the portals?" I was like, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry about this, but I
Yeah.
think eventually, if you want to do enterprise solutions, for example, all these applications that all enterprise have, like internal stuff,
Yeah.
there's no way you don't have to. Why would you choose Angular, for example, or React? I mean, just use Blazor. I mean,
Yeah.
it's easier, faster. Even, I mean, backend people can do it. I mean, I mean, I've got people in my company like they completely hate front end. I was like,
Yeah.
whatever you know already, it's
Mhm.
it's you can use it. I was like, oh, let's try this. They kind of suck at styling and stuff, but that's we have ChatGPT for that. So I mean, I think it's a good framework. It's a pity that they don't use it that much, and
Mm.
people they kind of want to hate on that, but if you use it, I mean, if people use it, they realize how easy it is to create a web app in like 15 minutes. You can do a proof of
Really,
concept.
yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a very detailed and a very nice answer. So I think on the same line, the next question is like, how do you balance the innovation that comes with AI along with building responsible applications? Because obviously this has been like a very, I would say something people have been discussing a lot. Like, can we trust what we are creating? So obviously, responsible AI is like a very crucial part of building anything at this point. So what's your take on it?
I mean, I think it's a complex question. I will
Yeah.
say that responsible AI is definitely something that we need to think when we're building stuff,
Yeah.
especially when you use AI for doing something for the customer, which is something that now everyone doesn't really talk about that, but in the end you have to take information and then use it AI for stuff. So, for example, we build stuff. Especially there's this edge case that I created. It was like an insurance stuff. So we were taking information about the thing and then passing it on to the AI and doing the stuff. And we have to make sure like that this is. I mean, what we're doing here is, as you said, like you have to be careful with whatever you do with AI. We don't really know exactly what's going to happen. In the end, the AI it's a black box. I mean, it's right
Yeah.
there. We give it stuff, gets back stuff to us.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. And I think like, I mean, I tell you like it's important, but in the end, when I go to work, you do it stuff. I mean, you have to do it, and that's it. But you're right. I think it's. I don't know your take on this, but I think yes. I mean, it's super important, and definitely people are not getting to that much.
Yeah.
And but at some point, I don't know. We're gonna get the check at some point.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So if you were supposedly, if you were
uh,
to build a startup today with .NET plus AI,
uh,
because right now there are a lot of startups around who are working on building the application. I'm sure
yeah.
you would be already aware of that. What one problem would you solve? Like, what would the
Um,
problem be about and your startup be about?
well, I can actually talk about the problem I'm solving right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a business stuff, but I'm building something right now.
Yeah.
And I want, for example, I want you to be testing that for me because
Sure.
I think you can do some pretty good testing in there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this. So you, like me, we want to go to conferences because we like them, and we have certain preferences in the end, right? So,
Yeah.
for example, I prefer to go to I don't know Europe and North America, but let's say I don't want to go to Asia, for example, right?
Yeah.
And then I also want to get paid, or it doesn't matter because I can cover my travel cost and everything. So I found myself a problem where finding this stuff is super complicated, and you spend weeks looking for events on it. And I was
Yeah.
like, can I use AI to do this for me? Like, can I
Mm.
use AI to find events everywhere, and then based on my stuff, give me the
Yeah.
recommendation? Okay, you should do this. You should do that, right?
Mm.
You should go there because this makes sense. Or maybe, in the end, it's like a percentage stuff, right? Like this is looks perfect for you. This is meh, medium, or this is high. So I was like, can I build something that uses AI? And I built like it's been a couple of months now, and I'm building this small SaaS that basically you put your preferences and I get information about events, and using I give you like, okay, this is what Emmy wants,
Yeah.
and this is the event. Do you think
Hmm.
that this makes sense for them, for him?
Yeah.
And should he apply to this one?
Mm. Kind of
And
a
so
matching algorithm, so to speak.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And by using AI, I was like, okay, did I fix a problem for me?
Hmm.
And can I do this for other people? And then now I'm finishing everything up, and I think that the first time, 30 years old, that I say, I'm fixing something. I'm fixing the problems. And I realized that there's no point on building something that doesn't fix someone else's problem. And
Problem.
because maybe for you, you have the same issues as me. Like you want to find events. And how do you do it? You have to like spend the afternoon, like open, this event and this event. This is on, this is USA. Obviously, I can go. This is on Spain. I can go. You have to like click and click and click and click and close and click and close. When
Yeah.
are the dates? So you
Yeah.
have the same problem as me. So I was like, okay, I'm fixing something for someone. And I'm using AI. And that's when I realized, okay, AI is super useful.
Yep.
I'm using information about two different stuff. And AI is thinking like, okay, this makes sense for this user. So I'm going to send you an email and say, okay, you should apply to this event.
Hmm.
So I think the answer to the question is that's from experience. I can say that I can use AI to fix someone else's problem. It's more complicated because now I'm run out of options. Like this is my only idea I have. So whenever I finish this, I'll see what I can do later. But you can do
Yeah.
this. I mean, you can use AI to fix problems, everyday problems, and you can. Yeah, and you told me like you see everyone is building stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Now everyone is an entrepreneur and building the next 10 million SaaS on YouTube. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I know like some people told me a lot of numbers that like the startups have grown drastically over the last 2 years, which is not surprising. So yeah.
I mean, also it makes sense that everyone is vibe coding now. So like before, because people before they wanted to create stuff, but maybe they didn't have the knowledge or didn't have the time. But now, if you can type it to something and it tries for you, and it makes sense that it creates more stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
Cool. I think this is the last question of this
uh,
I mean, I have two questions. I will
yeah.
ask the second last question first. So, what's a common misconception about AI in software development specifically that you would like to clear up? That like most people think, um, but you would think otherwise. Like you don't think in the same line.
Um,
You can say like you can also say that no, I think the same way also if you
I
don't
mean,
have anything.
I definitely, I think that what I want to clear on AI and software development is especially the vibe coding stuff. Like
Yeah.
when we had on the company, I was because I have an MVP, I had the chance uh, I had the Copilot Pro before,
Yeah.
and I was like using it. And I remember when my CTO was like, "I'm going to enable this for everyone." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this can either go two ways. It
Yeah.
goes okay, which doesn't happen, and it goes bad. And when I mean bad, I don't mean like it's going to work. It's going to create bad code, but people are going to get lazier, and it happens. I think it's happening that people. I always tell like I don't accept any PRs anymore that is not being tested by you
Yeah.
100% of the time because what happens right now is that people buy code, it works amazing. The
Hmm.
compiler says everything works. The code looks amazing, super complex. You go into the page, it doesn't work. And I was like, I think that the biggest misconception is that it's going to make everything perfect. You have to test everything. Please test stuff.
Yeah.
And I tell my team after it happened a couple of times, like, let's sit down all together. One thing, I am not the best programmer. I am not the best pipe coder, but I know one thing: I have to test my stuff. So now,
Yeah.
please test the stuff. So Vibe Code does everything for you. So test it. And I think people misconception of even not even programmers, but CTOs and sales and everything, they think that Vibe Code is gonna fix everything. I was like, it's not gonna fix anything. It's not the best stuff that happened. It works fantastic, but test the code. If I can, I have a lot of tattoos over my body. I would tattoo myself. Test your code, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
So
So, do you think, like, I think I've heard some people told me that vibe coding has also been enlisted as a skill in people's resume now. So, or CVs. Do
yeah.
you like, what's your take on that?
I mean, definitely, I will not if it were for me. I mean, the thing is that I don't pay the salaries on my company, so that's
Hmm.
why I can say this. But if I had to create a company right now, if I had to hire someone,
Hmm.
first of all, because I know what I'm doing, it will be complicated to hire someone, especially development, because I can do it, right?
Yeah.
But if I were to hire someone, definitely I will hire someone that knows the pipe coding. I mean, because in the end, it's gonna be faster. I mean, I if you are the best developer that there are right now, but you do everything by code, I mean by writing, you are most likely going to be slower because AI is going to be better than you. I mean, that's a fact. I don't think we can argue that AI is worse than someone. It's going to be better. Most likely, it's going to do it 90% faster,
Hmm.
90% better, and then you can iterate over that. So I think that people definitely should have to learn pipe coding, put it on the CV, and I mean, because you are competing with other people. I mean,
Yeah.
this is not my preference. This is the world, and the world we live in is that you don't have vibe coding. Okay, you're discarded immediately. I mean, because why
Yeah.
will I pay someone to create a page for 8 hours when I can pay
They can
someone
do.
that creates me 4 pages in 8 hours? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, in the end, by the people that pays everyone, I mean the payroll, the HR staff, and the CEO. If you tell them, I got this guy that is medium skilled but knows how to use AI to create stuff,
Yeah.
and I have this super intelligent stuff, but they don't know how to use AI.
Yeah.
I can, I mean, depending on the background, I mean, if you're talking about, CPU development on stuff, or that kind of stuff, like super specialized programming jobs, like robotics and stuff,
Yeah.
maybe they can skip AI because, it's, I don't think it's super for that. But for
Hmm.
example, web developer, backend developer, and Android developers, I mean, they prefer to trust the AI than trust
Yeah.
someone more intelligent. So I think
Okay.
that is the world is evolving. So you have to go with the
Evolve
with
with
the
that. Yeah.
evolve with that. Otherwise, you get no jobs anymore.
Okay. So if someone is starting out in tech today, like the lot of freshers are like looking for jobs.
Mhm.
What I would say, like, what would you say are like the top three things? I mean, AI will always be like a part. Like, what are the top
Yes.
three things you would suggest them to like really look out for?
You mean if I were to hire someone or
Yeah, I mean, if
for?
somebody is like looking out for a job, like, if somebody starting out and they're trying to build a career as a software developer or
Mhm.
in like any kind of developer
Mhm.
technologies.
I would say that you have to start way earlier than before. I think that before people they used to go to. Well, I never go to university, so I don't know how much years does it take, but I guess like 4 to 6 years, so right. So people
Hmm.
were like waiting 4 years to start doing stuff to get hired.
Hmm.
And right now, I think that you're competing with people that I didn't go to university and I still got a job and I'm still an MVP. So you're competing with people that they can do that and they start doing stuff before.
Yeah.
So what I will do is that, let's say they want to study.
Hmm.
Well, you start studying and you start doing stuff. You can't. I mean, you're sacrificing time those 4 years
Hmm.
if you don't do anything. So I will say first start studying, start building. I don't care if you build a note taking app, if you start building a Kanban app, if you start building a sticker creator app. I don't care. Start doing the stuff right away. Use AI to keep learning, and
Hmm.
I think that if I would rank one, two, and three, three is AI, two is start doing stuff, and one is don't give up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to take time, and
Yeah.
people are going to know more than you, and you are going to suck at the beginning, and it's going to suck, and I think everyone is going to get frustrated, but keep going. I've
Yeah.
countless times started projects, countless time. I never stopped, never ended it,
Yeah.
and but I always kept going, and kept going, and you have to keep going. I mean, it's super competitive market nowadays, but I think what separates successful people that normal people is that they never stop, and I've seen these entrepreneurs, and you all see like these people creating startups now. They don't stop. I mean, I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about what I want to build, and I'm with my wife on the cinema, and I was like, the movie's going on, I was like, I have to fix this issue. So
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about this, and I think that's what separates us. For example, you and me, from people that, for example, they want to be speakers. Well, I'm thinking about speaking all the time.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
always
too.
thinking about this. I'm
Yeah.
always thinking about speaking. I'm always thinking about what's the next thing that I can give you, or the next place I want to go, or I think it's don't stop. Keep going. And I don't want to sound like these influencers that they say motivational
Yeah.
stuff, but I mean, I think it's real. Don't stop, because
Yeah.
if you start and stop, it doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
stop. Just keep going. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not gonna work maybe, but if it works, what happens if it works? Maybe you create the next Google or whatever.
Yeah.
So I will say those two things. AI, start earlier than they tell you, and
Yeah.
don't stop. Just keep going.
Great. Okay. I think this is a very good answer. Actually, very optimistic and hopeful as well. So I think with this, we come at the end of the Q&A session. I will ask you a bunch of rapid fire
Uh
questions
huh.
now,
Okay.
which is like the fun part of the podcast. And you have to just give one worded answer for them. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So the first question is first programming language you ever wrote in.
Dolphy. Delphi. Delphi or
Yeah.
Delphi or whatever.
Okay. Favorite feature in .NET right now?
Placer.
Later. Okay. One AI tool you cannot live without.
Copilot Pro. The GitHub Copilot Pro.
Okay. Dark mode or light mode?
Dark mode. Always. Everything dark. Even my clothes.
Okay. Okay. Tabs or spaces?
Tabs. Always tabs.
One book or podcast recommendation for tech lovers who love to work in tech.
I would say, I don't know, the Nick Chespas, I think is the name. This the K. So this guy always gives trace recommendation. So that guy, that guy.
Okay. One technology trend you think is overhyped.
Rust.
Okay. And this is the last question. Dream project if resources were unlimited.
Something like Tesla, like
Yeah.
building self-driving cars, something like that. I would give my child for that.
Okay, great. So yeah, this is like the end of our rapid fire segment. Thank you, Emiliano, for taking the time. Everyone, if you want to ever attend any conference, please do attend his sessions. They are they're pretty amazing. He shows really cool stuff. And like I have attended one or two of those sessions, and it's mind blowing. So huge shout out to you again, Emiliano, for coming on this
Thanks.
show and all the great work that you have done, like in terms of like delivering sessions, sharing knowledge, mentorship, everything. And with this, we come to the end of the podcast.